Hang Time is part of the Globally Balling Network, and you can check out our social media. That's facebook.com/globallyballin. Instagram, don't forget to follow us at Globally Ballin Official. And don't forget also to tweet us. You can tweet us your suggestions of who you want us to interview in all kinds of sports here in the Philippines. That's at Globally Ballin. And for all of our sports fans, we've got more shows for you here from the Globally Ballin Network. We have the Globally Ballin podcast, an eternity of basketball, Hang Time, and Who the Heck Are We? Just check it out on our YouTube page. That's at Globally Ballin. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time we release a new video. And we have a new network show. Help us welcome Who the Heck Are We for sports opinions and stories. It's available on Spotify and on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. If it's still not enough that ball is life, well, for all our shoot lovers, basketball lovers, we've got an eternity of basketball just for you, provided by the Globally Ballin Network. Again, available on Spotify and on YouTube. And for a quick and easy way to find us on all of our social media and all of our different shows, you can check it out. Our link tree, that's on the site right there. And you can find the link at the top of all of our show descriptions. Welcome to another episode of Hang Time with me, Denice Disney. And for today, we're going to be joined by, I guess, one of the people that I look up to, especially when it comes to style icons.
Wow.
None other than Chu Njigha. Chu, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so honored to be here, especially with all with Denise. Grabe, ka-honor.
I know. I'm the one who should be honored because I felt like such a fan. I would comment on your IG post, slay it, looking so good.
Denise liked it, yay, approved. I actually remember the time, I remember when you interviewed me for ABS-CBN once. Before that, we didn't know each other yet. And I was intimidated by you before we had that interview. Because you gave off this friendly, but sometimes oh, this person is so cool. I have to make sure I answer the right things, those kind of stuff. So I was okay, Chu, prepare for this interview. So yeah.
Grabe, hindi naman. Actually, my last memory of us ever seeing each other was the SNA interview, and then that never came out.
Yeah.
Because the pandemic happened. It's such a, it's so nice that you brought it up because it's like when I try to remember the last work that I did for SNA and for sports, it was interviewing you guys, and medyo may konting sting. May konting sting when you remember now, oh, that was the last thing that I did. At least I went and did that interview with people that I love. I mean, it's my own school.
And it showed we had so much fun.
I know. I'm just sad people will never get to see it. Like, guys, you don't know what you were missing. That was such a fun interview. But now
they have this.
But moving on to ikaw naman, binounce mo sa akin yung topic eh. How have you been doing this whole year? I guess it's been. We could say that we had higher expectations for 2021, pero still quite a limbo that we're in. And how have you been dealing with all of it?
Definitely a roller coaster. At the start, it was really hard because, of course, with the amount of preparation, the expectations, you want to enter this year, you have so many plans, for UAP in terms of volleyball. And also, I felt like it was during the time that the men's volleyball was also getting its peak. Everything was happening in such a positive note, and then suddenly the pandemic just hit. So yeah, it was definitely a struggle bus at the start of this pandemic for me, for my experience, having to deal with the sudden change of events. Obviously getting all of my plans getting canceled because of it.
The thing is, for you, it wasn't just sports. You were a student athlete. Congrats on graduating, by the way.
Thank you.
Talk to us the adjustment also as a student na parang not getting to see your classmates, also not learning in classrooms. Even if I know usually athletes kasi talagang in and out of the classroom. That's not where you spend most of your time. But iba pa rin yung feeling na natututo ka sa classroom.
I mean, for me, being a student athlete, ako kasi, I love interacting with my classmates. I also have a life outside my sports life also. I really value my course mates being like an artist, a creative student. So I really love socializing with like everyone, like getting to see them in person because that's like you get to learn from them, you get to create these memories. Like iba talaga pag in person. And also it goes especially for volleyball. My teammates having to see them every single day and then suddenly you're just locked at home, you're all alone with your own thoughts and then as much as you guys are going through the same thing, it's different talaga. Yung parang yung simpleng those small talks or chikahan in person na you really get to see them in front of you versus having to text. Ako, minsan tamad pa naman ako mag-text. But so sobrang adjustment talaga to the new normal segment right now. But yeah,
And you're a social being. Like
definitely.
you're a social butterfly. To say that you would be a social butterfly is quite an understatement because you are really out there. Parang you love socializing. That's just how you are as a person. Actually, ganun ka takilala eh. Na parang, oh, that's true. Like, parang Mr. Popular na Mr. Congeniality.
Not popular. You know,
But, well, popular, lots of people can define it in so many ways. But you were to me. And how did you fill that battery of yours throughout this whole year? Was it ever filled or did you have to manage na okay kahit 50% kahit 60% sige okay na rin?
I'll be honest at the start. I don't know what I was really siguro depressed, like if that's the right term. Like I was really going through a phase na parang I just really felt so empty at the start of this quarantine. Like not really knowing what to do. Actually before entering volleyball nga, I said it's funny, like I just want to stay here for 4 years for Ateneo and that's it. And then pagdating ng fourth year ko naman, I had a change of plans. What I did was for my fourth year classes, I divided it into 2 years for fourth and fifth year. So medyo easy load for me. Because I was planning na, ayun, I want to finish, like I fell in love with the sport, with volleyball, and I want to finish it on a high note for fourth year and for fifth year, like definitely want to get that championship, like all out, whatever happens. And then to be hit, it's like you're hit with something and now you don't know what to do. So siguro for the first few weeks, it was coping it in a way with chatting with my friends, with people going through the same thing. So my teammates, also my volleyball friends from other schools, also my classmates. So yun, it really helps speaking to other people, Ren. But after a while, when it gets like you get used to the situation, I also leaned into doing arts. The first thing that I fell in love with before getting into volleyball. So I can say na this quarantine, you also get to suddenly, how do you call this? You realize like other things that you can also do besides from the thing that you've always been doing. That's like, oh yeah, I remember the time I used to be into arts a lot. It wasn't just volleyball, volleyball, volleyball every day. I also had other passions. So yeah, it was I can say this experience as much as it was sad, at least it also gave us time to focus on other things. So yung nga, arts. And then I also had my family, which I also have my sister Giselle, and she's also a volleyball player. So we had a lot more time hanging out because she also dorms for LaSalle. I dorm for Ateneo. So we usually see each other like rarely. So it was great to have that experience. And also modeling also. I also had more time for modeling, which I didn't have at all with volleyball. So
Now
yeah,
you're talking about arts. I forgot kung sino yung partner mo for your thesis where you were
alone.
were
Thesis?
you yeah for arts ba? Because I saw someone posted it on social media. I'm not sure if it was Danny, but you were tagged also. Or I'm not sure. Sobrang social media can get a really like crowded, but
Me.
you were posting so many things also.
I
And
post a lot. Sorry.
no, but the thing is, it wasn't. No offense to people who post like random stuff on social media. I guess that's you. And we're not. I'm not saying this to judge,
No
but
shade, guys. No shade.
yeah, no shade. Like but you were posting quite consistently yung content mo.
Mm,
Na it was all very artistic. The photographs,
thank you.
and the thing is, you managed to sustain that until now.
Mm.
Like, how did you establish that persona or that personality or that image of you?
I think it just comes from, it's always been my passion. It's always been my passion growing up. Like, I felt like it was the only thing I was also good at. You know, when you find that thing now, oh, I feel like when people compliment, Chu, you're so good at drawing, like, ganyan, ganyan. And like, oh, actually, I am. And then you start to fall in love with it more. And then you search for these artists, these inspirations online. And I also love to apply art in everything I do. Like from time to time, I also create art and edit it into my posts. And yeah, it's just something I'm really passionate about. It's the course I took for Ateneo. And definitely, I wouldn't choose any other course that didn't have anything related to art in it. So yeah. And with art, kasi you can also create your own world. Like you don't really have a set of rules that you have to follow. Being the Sagittarius that I am, I don't really like, wow, horoscope bigla. I don't really like following rules. Like, I just want to create what I feel like I love, which I love. And it doesn't matter if other people appreciate it as much, but as long as I love what I create. And it's just a bonus if people actually resonate or they actually feel something from what you create. They appreciate what you create. But yeah, it's more of just me appreciate or loving what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm a frustrated artist. I love art, but I just suck at making it. But the one thing is that I've always admired about art is how your identity and how yourself just
Definitely.
shines through. And me speaking as a frustrated artist, I want to know, how do you find your identity? Because especially now na parang ang daming nangyayari, kahit nasa bahay lang tayo, ang daming nangyayari, and there's
Mm.
so many noise. How do you like stop it from going inside your world that you've created and protect that world of yours?
That's actually such a cool thing because that you pointed that out. Because before this, I was really confused with. I think life is a process naman talaga. Like you can never really fully. Oh, this is me. Time just keeps going on, so everyone's gonna change. Like you're gonna start liking this, you're gonna start liking that. But then for me, it's more of just being in the moment with what you're going through and being able to put it in like a form of art, whether it be music, dance, volleyball, I don't know, like anything you want to pour your passion into. And for mine, it's the arts. And when the quarantine happened nga, that was the time na I was all alone. So I wouldn't have the influence of my friends as much. I wouldn't have to, I mean, minsan rin kasi it's in your mind, you unconsciously compare yourself to other people sometimes. Even though you're like, oh no, I don't compare. Like if you see other people, like, oh, does my art like look that good? Does my art? But then thankfully with quarantine, I had a lot of time to just think to myself and be like, oh, why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? Like I wouldn't care if it looked bad or it looked good until it made me happy. Like it's really more of feeding that happiness for yourself and not having to compare yourself to others. Because yun naman yung number one priority most of the time is to make yourself happy, really. So, yun.
And to reach that point kasi, to be able to express yourself in such a way that you do, artists, dance, even through playing, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. And this pandemic, it breaks your personality and your identity down, especially when you're removed of all the things that used to define you. And you said so yourself, life is a process. Do you mind, I don't know, I think making us kwento yung naging process of building yourself this time around with different pieces to create who you are now, 1 year later?
Grabe. What process do you want from the start of my life or from when I entered college ba?
I think recently, like when the pandemic hit, how did you create this new identity of yours? Or did you create a new identity of
I
yours?
can say created a new identity.
Oh.
I'm actually changing. You know what's weird? Like when I meet new people now, or especially in the fashion world, I call myself Mason na. It's Mason. Like, I don't know. I just
Nagbago na ba?
no, it's okay. Like I want to keep it as Chu and and then in the fashion world it's Mason. But then with this quarantine, yun nga, going through having to find yourself without the usual, like if you strip yourself of everything, for me it was like things like volleyball, socializing, going out, meeting people. You strip yourself of those stuff. Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
This is such a anong subject to?
Filo.
Such a pillow interview. So who are you at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like definitely knowing Chu is this awkward kid. Like I feel like I'm kind of this awkward, chill person, but then for some reason I get to get along with everyone easily. I mean, I don't really have issues. I don't know. I don't have issues for much so far in life with getting to know or like socialize with everyone. And but then he's also very passionate about the things that I yun nga, when volleyball ended, I was like, actually I really love this sport. Like it really did change my life in a lot of ways. So a mindset that I've instilled in myself when this quarantine happened is that I mean right now I'm also doing when I do something I go all out, like I give it my all, I do my best. Like you have to do it like there's no tomorrow. Because, like who knew there was gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
pandemic that would suddenly hit. And now we're just gonna be all stuck at home and not and we have to get used for this moment, we have to get used to just being at home and taking these safety protocols. So yeah, definitely when you do something, might as well go out like there's no tomorrow because you never know, you really never know. You never know the future talaga, TBH. So yun.
Yeah. I think everyone can relate yung parang we've always said YOLO, but we never actually did
True.
YOLO until like the pandemic na parang
True.
those little things na kahit you're constrained, you try to maximize it as much as you can.
True.
You mentioned kanina about disappointments and the national team, the men's national team has been, was
Mm.
put out couple of months back. And
Yeah.
how did you feel, I guess, in not getting in? I mean, I know you found your own world now with arts, with modeling and all of these things, but
Mm.
did you feel disappointed or did you feel at least sad na parang, oh,
I was very disappointed. Like I'm not gonna lie here and be like, no, it's chill, it's fine. No. At first I actually didn't want to accept it. Like in my mind. Because when you enter for me, when I enter something, I do it to the best of my capabilities. Like I make sure like when I wouldn't be pursuing volleyball right now if I feel like at the end of the road I'm gonna be like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I wouldn't have the passion. For the national team, I tried out once, and that was my second time to try out. So during the first time, it was already hard for me not to get in. Maybe I'm just really like there's a kind of sense of delusion. Or ano tawag dun, you're very. I'm a very ambitious person. Like
go
if I
for
want
it.
if I want something, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna give my all. Like I'm really unapologetic when it comes to that. And to find out that I didn't make the national team, like even the training pool,
Yeah.
I was really sad because in my mind I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my best. Parang gusto ko na, parang yung goal ko na nga is sana final lineup na mapasukan ko, right?
Mhm.
Because yeah, that's where like that's if you're an athlete, if you go to these tryouts, you have to go in expecting that. I mean, doing your best, and you feel like you'll get in. Because what's the point of getting in the first place if you're not gonna do your best, right? So I was definitely disappointed, but then thankfully I have a lot of friends, a lot of people, comforting me, telling me, not getting in naman. It doesn't mean you're bad or worse than anyone. It just means maybe it's not your time. Yun nga, like what my mom always tells me, like in God's time, you never know what God's plan is. Maybe there's something much better waiting for you in the future. So that was the thing that I looked to when I didn't get in, just to comfort myself. Because I was probably for me, I was really like, hindi ako nakapasok. But then, ayun, right now, I'm fine. There's always a next time. Hopefully, like, next time, we get it next time. But for now, it is what it is. And I'm happy naman. And national team's a great team naman. Like, everyone's there. Like, Sumang's there. And I'm so
Yeah, I know.
excited to see Sumang there and all of my other Ateneans and the whole national team. So yeah, in the future
In
definitely.
yeah, you are quite unapologetic when it comes to being yourself, and you said so na you're ambitious. I feel like that's such a perfect thing to say right now because topping it is burnout. A
Mm,
lot of people have been posting about it, with this whole Zoom situation and for online for texting. It's so tiring and not getting everything that you want, especially all the things that you planned and dreamed for. and you don't know if you're ever gonna get it. How do you stoke that fire within you? Na it's just still there. Na parang it's still burning. It's not to the point na it will burn you out. Na mapapagod ka na with regards to example volleyball, or mapapagod ka with regards to art, or really it will come to a point na mapapagod ka period.
I mean, I think it's just taking it as an everyday thing, like one step at a time. As long as you have a know that you have a goal in the end, you'll keep pursuing it. But then that's very true. Like I have lots of burnouts. I want to share one of my experiences. I actually went to kwento ko dito. I went to Boracay recently.
Yeah.
I think it's Feb early this year. Because I was very, parang nag-burnout na ako in terms of life overall, volleyball, arts, and I was like, Mom, parang, hindi ako naman nagbayad. Kaya humingi ako sa'yo. I actually entered the job and then like nag-ipon ako money and then I was like, I want to go to Boracay just to have like time for myself and find myself also. Because quarantine, even though you're just at home, it's also very tiring having to go through this situation like every day. So yeah, it's just taking everything one step at a time and knowing what your priorities are, but also giving yourself time to breathe from time to time. Because what's the point of doing something if you're already broken? Might as well just why
Wow.
already broken. Guys quote that, joke lang. But might as well like, collect yourself. So yeah, if you enter something, kailangan talaga you feel like you're prepared and not just doing it because you need to do it. Like you do it because you actually it's within you that you want to do it.
When you're broken, do you create something new, or do you piece the old ones together back up?
Grabe.
Ikaw nag-bring up eh. So,
Sorry,
I'm,
ano yung dalawang, what are the two options? Grabe, still the news. Ano, when you're broken,
when you're broken, do you create something new, or do you try to piece back the broken pieces together again?
create, like create something, maybe create something, but it's still you eh. At the end of the day, that's still your essence. I'm just trying to digest, I'm trying to dissect your question. But like, it's still you that you're using, and you bring yourself to find new ways to cope with these things, if especially if it's not working anymore. So, yeah. Hirap ng question mo, Denise. Ano ba to? Parang nawalan ako bigla ng brain cells.
No, because you brought up really something that's true eh. And again, I'm an art geek. So, is it like yung deconstruction na you're broken, and with those pieces you create something new altogether, a new definition, or you try to still, create the same old thing and power through?
I think you use those broken pieces and know why in the first place those pieces are broken.
That's such an Ateneo answer. May isa pang sagot sa dalawang tanong.
Really? But yeah, like you use those pieces and you piece it back. You know why you have to find out why in the first place that happened, why you're broken, and then find out how you can fix it, and then you fix it. So yeah, for example, for me in the first, why was I broken? Because pandemic hit and my plans they're like all gone, like just like that. How should I fix this? I lean to something else that I've always been passionate about, which is the arts, which is the fashion world. And so yeah, that's why I feel like I've been doing okay. Like especially mental health right now, you really need to take care of it. Like it's always been there, the mental health. But then now that everyone's home alone and not being able to socialize with everyone else and get that kind of help, yeah, it's really finding a way how you can fix it yourself.
I've got to say, to be completely candid, parang this has got to be one of my favorite interviews in my career just yet. Like, swear, this is, no, I get to learn so much, and I get to ask you questions that also I ask myself, and I get to hear it from another person's perspective, especially yours, and how you really eloquently explain it in na talaga na breakdown mo siya, which helps me understand other people even more and helps me understand you. So we've talked about disappointment. We've talked about finding yourself during this time where everyone is really lost and wandering. But when it boils down, I guess I want to end this interview with who is Chu Njigha? Is he Chu Mason? Is he Mason? Is he Chu? What defines you? And what's your why? Why are you you?
Tama yan yung wife pa na yan. From Coach O. So I watched your interview with Sumang actually, and I really love that. What's my why? I feel like Chu and Jiga is this free spirit. No, not he's not really a free spirit. Like he's free spirit human being. If he's passionate about something, he's going to do his best. Although from time to time he's also gonna learn like not everything's going to go your own way, but as long as you know that you gave it your all and you know what your passion is and you know ano ba. Because it's not just about you rin eh. What also helps is the people also around you, like surrounding yourself with the right people, the people that you love, the people that you vibe with. Kasi mahirap rin naman to go through life if you're gonna surround yourself with negative energy, right? So you also have to know the people who are there to support you and truly recognize and help you throughout those times. But yeah, parang nawala na ako sa question. Bigla nag-feel away ako from the question. But
No. You answered the first part now. Who is Chu? But now, why?
why am I doing this?
Mhm.
Honestly, in the first place, I've always been someone who's done it for other people, especially before this pandemic. I can actually share na siguro for the first 2 years of my volleyball life, I think something that went wrong with me na I wasn't able to fully show who I was as a player was I felt like I was trying to please others too much. Kasi ako yung tipo ng tao I don't like disappointing others eh. And
Yeah.
to the point I'll really, and it shows na I really give my best. I really do my all. Like, ayokong mapahiya sila in any way. Like, I can say na I'll do my best to make this person happy. So that was me. I always wanted to make people happy. But then come third year, fourth year, and especially during this pandemic, especially, I realized na you can only make other people happy if you've been making yourself happy, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't charge someone else if you're fully out of batteries.
That's true.
Thing, but yun. So that's something, that's my why. Like, because I want to feel this happiness within me, but then also I'm also doing it for my family, especially. Like being the oldest brother with my mom lang, and then I'm the oldest brother of my three siblings. Parang whenever I do something, I really want to go all out and make sure na I'm doing it for a career and in the future na I can support myself and also my family. So yeah, that's my why. A family.
Aww. You know, if there's one thing in common about it, but I've interviewed sa athletes talaga, pagdating sa why nila, one thing that's been consistent is family. Like, it's really amazing na despite the time that you aren't able to spend time with them because of the time that you put towards training, competing, iba talaga yung may inuuwian ka na nagmamahal sa'yo at saka sumusuporta sa'yo. And who better to do that than your family?
Minsan for others pa, they have the dorm. So
no.
magka-away like,
Oh my gosh.
but then I guess that's something that's always been pushing me na, oh, I'm doing this for my brother, for my sister, for my mom. So yeah. And we're carrying the names also. Saan ba yung athlete's name? Nasa likod.
Sa likod.
Carrying the name of the school, but we're also carrying our own names rin at the same time. So
well, thank you so much, Chu, for I think all the wisdom I guess that you've shared this afternoon. And no, because you know what they say talaga na just because you're young doesn't mean you have nothing to share. The pandemic and you also being far away from your family with all the competing and as an athlete yourself, it ages you. It really matures you so quickly when you have to fend for yourself and you have to take care of other people that aren't your family as well. But thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the inspiration. And thank you for your time most of all.
Thank you so much, Denise. I'm really happy to be here also. To this such a great platform in it to get to know also athletes and to get to know their stories and to be able to share it with the world. And I've learned a lot throughout this interview and from you. Like, things na I haven't been thinking for a while na, oh, okay, oh nga pala, no? So thank you so much for inviting me.
Chu and Njigha. Chu, thank you so much. And again, guys, continue to listen to the Hang Time podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and of course our YouTube channel. And also follow Chu's IG. Like the pictures are dope.
Mason and Jacob, guys.
Thank you, Chu.
Thank you so much, Denise. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.